Hello guys, welcome to another great video. But in this great video, we're going to go over Clientless SSL VPN configuration. And as you can see with my topology, I'm using GNS3. If you have GNS3, go ahead and fire up your GNS3. And I'm going to be using this ASA right here, a router, and this Ubuntu Gui. And also I have this another appliance right here, and then the TACACSGUI. And what's going to happen is this Ubuntu is trying to reach out to this TACACSGUI, but it is in my DMZ zone right here. And what he wants to do is log in via the HTTPS via its web server. And the only way that you can gain access to it, to my TACACSGUI, it is via SSL. So I need to configure SSL so this Ubuntu computer can go ahead and reach out to it. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to go ahead and configure this ASA firewall over here. So let's go ahead and do that. Enable config T. Okay, and then after that, let's go ahead and configure the interface that is pointing out to my ASDM, which is interface gigabit 00. And I'm going to give an IP address for 10.10.10.1/24. Let's give it a no shutdown. Let's give it a name if inside because it is in my inside network. Now let's go ahead and configure interface gigabit 01. And this is the one that is going to the TACACSGUI. And this one is going to have an IP address of 10.10.21/24. Let's give it a name if DMZ because it's going to be my DMZ. No shutdown. Then let's go ahead and configure gigabit interface. Did I configure the wrong one? Yes, I did. Oops. Okay. So let's go ahead and to this one. Yep. And let's go ahead and name if. Let's say no. And this IP address, let's say no. So gigabit 01 is the one pointing to the internet. So interface gigabit 01 needs to be IP address of 144.1.1.1/24 as well. Now shut down, name if internet, and then oops, I spelled this wrong. There we go. So now we need to configure the DMZ, which is interface gigabit 0/2 with an IP address of 10.10.20.1, and the name if needs to be DMZ. There we go. Now shut down, right? Okay, so my ASA is being configured. It's not done yet. Let's also give it a host name of ASA. And then after that, we need to configure HTTP, the HTTP server, which needs to be for the ASDM. So server enable, and then HTTP, and we need to give it inside. So what I'm telling you right now is that any, did I configure this wrong? Okay, yep, I needed to be assigned to the inside with this IP address and subnet mask. That means that any IP address from the inside can connect via HTTP to my ASA, and that's going to launch the ASDM. Okay. So then after that, let's see if we can do HTTP. Um, host name, blah, 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 blah. I think that's it. Yep. Let's just leave it like that. Let's go ahead and create a username. Asker password. I want it to be actual. Let's just configure a secret. I cannot do that. Okay, let's go ahead and just do password 1234556. That's fine. And then after that, what I want to do is configure a route and tell it this route to go to the internet. And I wanted to go to the 144.1.1.2, which is my router over here that I haven't configured yet, but I will configure. So what I'm telling is that any traffic that um, that gets to the ASA is going to be sent to this router because we have to connect to that Ubuntu GUI. Okay, so we are done over here with the ASM with the ASA. So now let's go ahead and configure the ASDM. This one is to be VNC. Apply, and I'm going to provide a link to the description on the description below, so you guys can download this ASDM that I'm using. And now let's go ahead and fire this up, and it's going to open with VNC. If you don't have VNC, you need to install it because if it tries to connect via telnet, it won't work. Now let's go ahead and configure a IP address and 10.10.10.2. Oops, net mask needs to be, there we go. And then let's add a route. Add default gateway needs to be 10.10.10.1. Out at default gateway at set at router, and it needs to be route. There we go. Now we should be able to ping our ASA at 10.10.10.1. There we go. We are able to ping it. So now if we go ahead and launch it, the ASDM, we should be able to launch it at 10.10.10.1. Here we go. Trust it. Run it. Allow. Then we need to log in with our username that we configure on the ASA. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. I don't know why it wasn't taking it, but now it is taking it. And it's going to let us to, it's going to allow us to log in. There we go. So now we have launched the Cisco ASDM 7.5 for ASA, and there's the IP address of the ASA in the inside interface 10.10.10.1. So this is great. Now let's go ahead and configure the TACACSGUI. And we have to log in, and to log in is root, and the password is, I believe, is 1234. Let's try it again. Root. Oh, there we go. We were able to log in. So to log into the TACACSGUI is root, and the password is 1234. Now let's go ahead and configure an IP address. And then the IP address is 10.10.20.2. Net mask is 255.255.255.0/24. And then let's go ahead and add a route, add default gateway 10.10.20.1. And now we should be able to pin our ASA. There we go, we're able to pin the ASA, so that's good. So now what we need to do, since all of this is configured, let's go ahead and configure this router. And oops, let's go ahead and configure the router. Over here, router 1, config G, let's give it a host name of R1, configure the interface gigabit 0/0 to have an IP address of 144.1.1.2. Now shut down, let's try to do a ping to 144.1.1.1, which is the ASA, and we should be able to ping the ASA. There we go, we're able to ping the ASA. So now let's go ahead and configure this IP address on gigabit 01. Interface gigabit 01, 192.168.1.1. Now shut down. Great, so now we have configured this IP address. Now let's go ahead and configure the Ubuntu Gui, which I have over here, launch, and I'm also going to leave a link so you guys can download this Ubuntu Gui. Sometimes it takes a little bit to load, so let's just give it a second. Let's see what else we need to do. Checking that everything is good. Yeah, everything is good. Let's go ahead and go to edit connections. Let's go ahead and edit this connection right here, IP4, and let's go ahead and add a manual one. This one needs to be 192.168.1.2, mask 255.255.255.0, default gateway 192.168.1.1. There you go. Save it. We have established a connection. That's what it says. Now let's go ahead and search on this computer. Let's go ahead and open the terminal. We should be able to ping 192.168.1.1. There we go. So we are able to ping the router. So we have a connection between R1 and this Ubuntu GUI. So this is great, guys. So now we have connection between all of this. So what we need to do is now go ahead to the ASDM and configure Clientless SSL VPN. And you need to go ahead and launch the ASDM, which I have it over here. And let's go ahead and go to configuration. Let's see if we can do it manually. And this one is to be a remote access VPN. Okay. So what we first need to do is, let's see if I remember. So, and connect. If not, I'm just going to use the wizard because I can never. So connection profiles. It's not a site to site. It is a remote access. And since this is different than the other one, let's go ahead and see if we can go to any connect. Yeah, so this one is not giving me all the options that I have. So let's go ahead and configure it um, using the wizard. Um, you do not need to be able to configure it manually for the CCNA security. Cisco tells you to use the wizard, so let's go ahead and use the wizard. Next, let's go ahead and call this Clientless, and the DMZ that we're going to be using, or the SSL VPN interface that we're going to be using, actually is going to be the internet because the Ubuntu is going to want to reach via this interface, which is the internet interface, so the outside public network interface. And now, and it just giving you information about the SSL VPN service that we need to connect to, which is 144.1.1.1. Good. Next, now let's go ahead and let's configure another username. Let's call it this Ubuntu, password 123456. Confirm the password 123456. And let's go ahead and add it. Let's go ahead and click next. Let's go ahead and create a new group policy, clientless underscore policy. Click next. Let's go ahead and add a bookmark, and a bookmark that we're going to add is going to be a IP address to the TACACSGUI over here, which is 10.10.20.2. So let's go ahead and add it, and we're just going to create it my bookmarks. Go ahead and add it, and we are going to leave this one as default URL with get or post method. Okay, and the title is going to be TACACSGUI, and the IP address is 10.10.20.2, which is the IP address for the TACACSGUI, like I said before. Let's go ahead and click OK. OK, we have that bookmark list. Next, and now as you can see, the last step is the summary. It tells you that you created a connection name, clientless, and it's going to be on configured on the SSL VPN interface internet. We are going to authenticate using the local accounts, and we created a new user, which is Ubuntu. The group policy was clientless policy, and the bookmark list was my bookmarks. And let's go ahead and click on finish. And you need to save it. If you don't save it, you won't be able to connect to it. There we go. Everything is saved. Everything is good. Now let's see if we are able to connect to this SSL, to this clientless SSL VPN. So now let's go ahead to the Ubuntu computer. Let's go ahead and fire up Firefox. There we go. So now we need to go to HTTPS 144.1.1.1, which is the IP address of my ASA 144.1.1.1, right? Which is the internet interface that we configure for the Clientless SSL VPN. Let's go ahead and go there, and there you go. It is telling us that the connection is not secure. It is not secure because I don't have a certificate. So you can just add an exception, confirm the exception, and there you go. You are now into the SSL VPN service, and you need to go ahead and log in. And we created a username of Ubuntu. Actually, let's see if we're able to log in with my username asker 123456. And as you can see right here, you are able to log into the to my username asker. But we do not have any bookmarks, so we cannot go to this TACACSGUI. So let's go ahead and log out and log on again. And we're going to use the Ubuntu username, and the password was again 123456. And as you can see, the difference between the my Asker username and the Ubuntu username was that we actually created a bookmark for this username. So let's go ahead and launch the TACACSGUI, and that is going to take you to the TACACSGUI over here. Um, and what's going to happen is it's going to still tell you that you are in remoted into, or the IP address is not going to change from the 144.1.1 because this is a clientless SSL VPN connection. And what it's telling you is that you are inside this VPN network. And sometimes it takes a little bit for the TACACS GUI login to come up. But if you guys want, let's go ahead and go to GNS3, and I'm going to show you all the appliances that I'm using. So if you go to, let's go ahead to Marketplace Appliances. So for the TACACS GUI, I'm using this TACACS GUI. If you want to go ahead and log and download it and add it to GNS3, that's the appliance that I'm using for this TACACS GUI. And for the Ubuntu GUI, I'm using, um, if you just search for Ubuntu, the one that I'm using is this one right here, Ubuntu Desktop. So you can go ahead and download this appliance and add it to your GNS3. So that's the one that I'm using for that. And then for the other one, I'm using ASDM. For the ASDM, I'm using this one right here. So I'm going, is it this one? No, it's not this one. Let's see, GNS3. Oh, this one right here. This is the link that I use. So I added this one right here, this Docker image. I added this one, which is ehlers/web_java. So this is the, I'm sorry, this is the ASDM that I'm using. So if you guys want to go ahead and install it, so you can be able to launch the ASDM. If you're not able to launch the ASDM, just leave a comment and I can help you with that. So let's see if we were able to, there we go. So we are now into the TACACS GUI, which is this one right here from my Ubuntu um, image. So now we need to log in, and I believe the login for this one is TAC GUI, and the password is 123 ABC. No, okay, so it is ABC 123. There you go. So that's the password for the TACACS GUI. The username is TAC GUI or TAC GUI, and the password is ABC123. And that's also, it takes a little bit because it is just slow. Um, because I do not have a license yet for the ASA, so I need to get a license so it can be a little bit faster. Right now my connection is slow because I have not added my license to the ASA, but when I do that, it's going to be a lot faster than that right now. So if you have a license and you configure, you're going to see that it's going to be a lot faster than this. But going back, um, what you need to do first is before you add this ASDM image, you need to have Docker installed in GNS3, and then after you install Docker or Docker, however you guys say it, you can just add this new image. And whenever you add that new image, you got to make sure that the console type is VNC, because if it is telnet, it's going to turn off every time you turn it on. So you got to change the console type to VNC so you can so you guys can use it. As you can see, it is loading still. So, and the way that you do that, if it keeps like turning on and off, what you have to do is you have to configure. So right click configure, and the console type, it cannot be telnet. It needs to be VNC, otherwise it won't work. Let me see. There we go. So as you can see right here, we were able to um, SSL to this VPN, and then we added that bookmark, and that bookmark took us to the our DMZ, which is the TACACSGUI. So this is it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys like this video. And if you guys did like this video, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and also don't forget to follow me on Twitter at CCNA Daily Tips if you have a Twitter account. If you do not have a Twitter account, hey, go ahead and create a Twitter account, because I know you have an email. If you have an email, you can create a Twitter account. And then after you create a Twitter account, go ahead and follow me at CCNA Daily Tips. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.